Welcome. We are meeting Monday the 12th of August, so to discuss what is it like being a human on planet Earth at this time. My name is Timothy Halloran. I am an evolutionary astrologer. Now, for those who may have attended my recent Q&A just a couple days ago, that is one of my favorite days of the month where we test drive evolutionary astrology through offering a number of mini readings, rapid fire style, to a whole group of people. It is one of the most validating days of the month to see the usefulness of evolutionary astrology in real time, as well as to come together and foster a nice circle of support. That Q&A is $24. You can get a mini reading from me. The next Q&A will be in September. You can also join my astrology school. So to learn the PhD, Jeffrey Wolf Green, Evolutionary Astrologer, it is the last month to subscribe for such low prices. I encourage you to get signed up if you are interested, because you will get locked in to that monthly subscription rate. After this month, prices are going to go up, and that is out of a mere survival and self-respect for who it is I am and what it is that I am doing. So, Leo Aquarius Polarity, we deal with the dynamic between Leo, the individual, the ringleader, which makes us a special child of God, and Aquarius, the chemical reaction of which we are all a part, that's quite impersonal, the groups that we're a part of, the astrological communities that we're related to, the new age fashion trends that we were born during their heyday. So I'm going to begin by actually speaking a little bit from the ringleader perspective. Then we'll take it back to the collective astrology, and we will notice the similarity. And that's actually why I love to offer the Q&A every month, as I hear from every individual, their crises, their struggles, where they need help, where they could use suggestions. And by the end of several dozen people, all having taken the time to share and listen to one another while I'm circling their charts and pointing out how astrology works, we start to recognize that we are going through similar things at similar times. So this is a very testable, provable, you can dig your teeth in and sample it out for yourself astrology. I am not selling to anybody a belief system. I don't care what you believe in. I don't care what your level of spirituality is. In fact, I'm letting you all know what I'm up against. A lot of people are celebrating astrological heyday, a renewal of astrology. Astrology is getting really popular. I'm going to let you all know astrology is becoming lost right now. Real astrology, as that which is taught by Jeffrey Wolf Green, has not made itself to the mainstream, even slightly. And so people are getting absolutely horrendous, out of date, super useless astrology, and that's what the status quo for what astrology is. So I am personally not celebrating the catching on of the fashion trend of astrology. I am mourning the loss of astrology. I have put these videos up on YouTube. I used to do it weekly, now every 2 weeks, for 12 years. In this 12 years of consistently putting out this work, including the last 5, which were, honestly, it is a miracle that I was even able to continue to put these videos out in the last 5 years, due to the stark lack of support. So I want to begin this particular video because I mentioned in the prior video that I depend on your donations to continue to do this work. So I want to thank the one person who donated $20 out of the 13,500 people that my last video went out to. I appreciate your support, as it allows me to continue to be who I am. And if you're already a part of the Q&A or a part of the Astro School, you're already supporting me. So I thank you very much. But this is the principle of Venus. The principle of Venus is exchange. We don't bleed ourselves out forever and invest decades of our life mastering long-lost art forms in order to be trodden over. Hey, nobody's perfect. We just need to be around the people that recognize and appreciate us without us having to kill ourselves, attempting to be understood. Now, to bring all of that Leo selfishness back to the Aquarian universality of what our species is experiencing at this time, we're also seeing a lot to do with Venus coming up this month. This month of August began with Venus forming a square to Uranus. And what does this bring up? A lot of sudden, shocking, unexpected shifts to do with specifically money, but also what we really value, what we really cherish, the very center of our life, and relationships. Venus specifically rules the magnetic field emitted from the heart. Every heart chakra has an electromagnetic field. This is generally where these super overhyped New Age ideas that what you put out there is what comes back, which is not the same as a sociopathic being all happy all the time as if that's going to be your life is all right. Boy, that's pretty fucked up. And there's a little bit too many psychoanalysts out there right now that are doing this. And what they're actually doing is killing the human soul. Sorry for the scary face. I just want to animate what I'm actually talking about for what it actually is. So Venus squared Uranus Friday the 2nd. And that's where there can be a bit of this rug ripped out from under. We expected this group or this thing or the people we were lining up to or the collaboration that we were talking about, the table we had just set. There can be some major adjustments taking place. Now, I mentioned that in the last video because we're also in the midst of a Mercury retrograde. Mercury will form his superior conjunction to the sun right around the time of this full moon on August 19th. This is a powerful full moon for a number of reasons. We've got that Mercury with the sun. Asteroid Vesta, which I'll talk about, is conjoined the sun. They are T-squaring Uranus. We've got, of course, the full moon in Uranus, the sign of Aquarius, exactly square the ruler of Aquarius, Uranus, 27 degrees of the fixed sign. So this full moon, the 19th, this is a pretty clear indication of shocking, unexpected shifts, rugs being ripped out from under feet, restlessness, sleeplessness, sleeping all day through one day to catch up from the sleeplessness of a couple nights ago, etc., etc. The full moon also squares Pallas Athena. So Pallas Athena is forming an opposition to Uranus at the time of this full moon, even more, just picking up this kind of mental brain reverberation, restlessness. Is this right or is this wrong? I'm evaluating this using my old formulas, and these old formulas are not quite checking out as they used to anymore. So a part of the theme of this new moon is going to be, how can we balance the hemispheres of our brain? We've got to be able to have one eye on the big picture perspective blueprint of the long term, because we've had plans before this year. Even before all of these rugs getting ripped out from under, we had plans for our lifetime. We had a sense of who we are in our soul and our hearts, even as we continuously evolve into a richer, more potent and deep version of that which we already are. This is what all of life is all about, after all, but there can be some major reiteration here. Let's talk about Mars, Jupiter coming together. That'll be exact on Wednesday the 14th. Okay, so this is our mid-month major transit, and that's the midpoint of our T-square. So Mars approaching Jupiter, in many respects, this can be a positive transit. And I do think that generally pop astrology overhypes Jupiter into being only positive, only good things. Santa Claus leaves presents underneath the Christmas tree. If you're born Sagittarius, that of course means you know everything horseshit. And Jupiter's not only positive, but Jupiter does have a lot to do with ambition. Jupiter has so much to do with perspective, vantage point. And what Jupiter likes to do is see on the other side of the hill and say, you know what, we can get over this. And there's better things on the other side. And the glass is definitely half full. So keep your chin up. That's the beneficial side of this Mars approaching Jupiter, is it can be quite ambitious. And Jupiter in Gemini this year, 2024, we're learning more is more. Sometimes less is more. That's the lesson of Uranus and Taurus, the minimalization, the simplifying, and sure, get out of the slave job. That's a part of this month with the Venus stuff and the Mercury retrograde. If you're dragging your heels to go in the work, you want to puke, you're all day there, you hate everybody at your job, you can find another way to earn money. In this day and age, all it takes is a little bit of this zodiac sign of Leo as we meet in the midst of Leo season, just a little bit. I have full empathy. Being a very Leo person, the day and age in which we live is a creativity killer. Everybody's going to say you can't do it. You can do whatever you want to specialize in because the passion's there, the curiosity's there, the interest is there, and you're all night already researching it. Therefore, wouldn't it be great if you got paid to do that? Wouldn't that be a win-win? A lot of my working with clients, separation from family, and oh my God, you're so talented. Why are you killing your soul doing this job that is only going to continuously brainwash you? That's the best you can do. That's what a lot of families do for us too, right? Oh, you want to go off into the world and join the big city? Well, I don't know. Who do you think you are? You're here to take care of your mom and dad till the day that we die, and your siblings and your extended people, because we're all a bunch of children in adult bodies, and we're going to manipulate you and we're going to guilt trip you. And then we internalize all that and actually make that real when none of it's real. And if we actually left the small nest and flexed our muscles, was the big fish that left the small pond, well, what we're going to do is start to receive recognition. People who appreciate our skills. People are like, thank God you found our way to us. But that begins with our giving permission to ourselves to be who we are, to focus on what we want to, and to exercise our own creative uniqueness. You want to know why I'm such a talented astrologer? Not to toot my own horn, but I think at this point, having heard back from all of my clients and correcting the damage that so many other astrologers have done to my clients, and I don't believe I really do that in such a way. You want to know why I got so good at validating other people's uniqueness? Because I've lived 30 plus years of having my uniqueness totally invalidated. I sought out astrology as the medicine to my own soul, the way we will discover our true teaching gifts, healing gifts, creative gifts by finding the remedy for our own unique soul and solution. Now, that may sound like rose-tinted glasses for someone who hasn't studied as many tens of thousands of case studies with birth charts that I have. I'm letting y'all know this is how life works. You find out what your samskaras are, which are your past life traumas that repeat early on in this life, which are the same exact things that initiate you into your gifts and superpowers. Now, how many people have you heard that from? How many books have you read that goes really, really intricately into that reality? So this full moon is exactly opposite to Vesta, the sun. Exact degree is Vesta. So Vesta in Leo, let's bring creative focus to ourself. What's exciting for us? What do we love to talk about all day, every day? It was astrology for me. Everybody was like, shut the fuck up, Timothy. Everybody thinks that you're full of yourself. So I started talking to a camera, and here we find ourselves today. It's still a bit of a message in a bottle sent out into the ocean. I don't get a whole lot of personal intimacy from this work, but I hope that's going to change in the near future. And I think similarly, what it is that really fills up your heart that you want to share with others, Venus, will attract people of a similar wavelength who recognize and appreciate you for who you are, so you don't have to bend yourself all out of shape to meet others where they are at, transiting south node of the moon in Libra. And instead, we can instinctually go to the beat of the drum, open new doors, carve new paths forward, go where we want to go because we were born to want those things in the first place. Otherwise, why would we have those desires? That's going to bring us into liberation, even if we're paying it forward these months, even if it's a bit of a lone path at first. Just give yourself pats on the back for how much bullshit you might have just cut yourself from or saved your soul from, or allergic reaction style, just purged all of those toxins into the toilet. You're going to start to see how you've been paying it forward. I would suspect this month into fall time. This Mars Jupiter, middle of August, this can be, again, tremendous ambition. And Jupiter in Gemini is, I'm interested in that. And I wanted to go back to school for that. And I've always wanted to write a book about this. And I want to have a local club that meets for this. And this Mars Jupiter is like, when I go 100% of this, I get a little bored. When I go 100% of this, So do it all. Jump around. Bring in a whole network of new skills, interests. Allow your curiosity to open every door that calls you forward, and every hallway full of more doors. You can go down and open all those doors. Check all those things out. Go to the all-you-can-eat buffet, because Mars is going to be our own instincts, our own energy, our own excitement, our own libido, our own chi is going to be the green light. That's going to be the only permission we need to open that door and step forward. The way to shoot ourselves in the foot is to ask your partner, hey, am I allowed to be this? If your partner loves you, be who you are first. Hey, family, is this permissible? Do who you are first. If your family loves you, they will meet you where you are. The most common blunder of my culture is I see people in their 60s, 70s, and 80s sacrificing their whole damn life to try to get the recognition from their mom or dad they never will receive. Is that love? Is that caring? Is that how we would like to be to our children? Both the planets Jupiter and Saturn have most to do with the world by and large. Jupiter rules religion, philosophy, cultural perspectives, whereas Saturn rules structures, boundaries, and law. So when we see the two in a square aspect, as we do these weeks, we are coming to a rounding of a corner internationally. Saturn in Pisces begs the question, what is true human goodness? What is true human morality? How can we change our culture, structure, philosophy to upgrade into something more true, something more authentic, something more beneficial to the greater human good, as that is ultimately what the potential of both Sagittarius and Pisces can be. It is about finding that which gives us a sense of connection to something bigger than just ourself. And it is a time of trial and error. We may not know exactly what that is. We just know we have reached a point in time where updates are absolutely required. We need to be real as much as we also must remain hopeful and open to the possibility of what has yet to come. These are the pathologies that we can be waking up to as a species, because Aquarius, the species, is pathological as hell. You know what normal is? Normal is someone who's in denial, full of fear and insecurity, and can't admit what they are. That's what normal is. Full moon in Aquarius is about understanding where you are a freak show. Because the Leo Aquarius polarity is about recognizing where we're different is where we're special, and every human is weird. So if you don't know where and how you're weird, you don't know. This is not a time to be conforming to the hive mind, the tradition, the beaten path in a world that is changing so rapidly and so quickly. The rules of the game as we are leaving our body is going to be so vastly different to the rules of the game for our parents and their parents. We might as well stop taking it too seriously. and start gaining a willingness to experiment, and maybe even start gaining a willingness to be a little more healthily selfish. Because I do meet and talk to people who need to balance out and learn to listen and learn to open their hearts a little bit more, but I find they're the less common client and the less common, well, I guess I can't really evaluate the numbers on YouTube. I don't see any of y'all's faces, but I hope to in my next Q&A. We all have different lives. Once you get to learn how to read birth charts from my school, I cannot wait until the day that somebody out there gets an opportunity to read mine. On that note, this very Leo soul will sign off, and I look forward to speaking to you about our incredibly refining, go back to school, get back to work, get clean, organized, everything finally lined up. That'll be the intention of our next new moon in Virgo in just about a couple weeks. Look forward to seeing you all then.